Harvard University is facing an unprecedented crisis. Once seen as a global beacon of research and academic excellence, it now stands in the crosshairs of the U.S. government. The Trump administration has cut off funding, challenged its policies, and threatened its future. Mary Rice, a pulmonologist at Harvard School of Public Health, witnessed her grants vanish overnight. Her study on air purifiers for people with lung disease lost $2.5 million in federal funding. She says halting the research now would waste taxpayer money and the sacrifices of 180 patients. This isn't just about one study or one school. Harvard is fighting a much bigger war. The government is accusing it of failing to combat anti-Semitism and promoting liberal ideologies. As a result, over $2.4 billion in grants are on the chopping block. International students may also be banned. Harvard has taken the matter to court, but even legal victories won't stop the broader threats. Trump's administration is also proposing higher taxes on university endowments and cuts to research infrastructure support. The administration's most intense scrutiny is reserved for Harvard, home to the nation's largest academic endowment. But other elite institutions like Columbia, Cornell, and Northwestern are also under fire. A dangerous precedent is being set. In June, a federal judge ruled that many NIH grant cancellations were discriminatory. That offers hope. But the overall atmosphere has chilled confidence. Researchers fear a long-term contraction in science, driven not by budget deficits but political targeting. At the heart of this turmoil lies a system that once fueled American innovation. Scientists say this post-war model is being unraveled in just a few months. If these actions continue, it could transform not just Harvard, but the entire landscape of U.S. research. Harvard's endowment is massive, yes, but much of it is restricted. Leaders are seeking permission from donors to redirect funds. They've also raised $1.2 billion in bonds. Still, temporary solutions cannot replace sustainable federal support. The medical school is doing what it can. With $90 million from the university and another $120 million from its own reserves, it hopes to cover 74% of its lost funding. But what happens next year or the year after? That's the looming question. The School of Public Health is in even more trouble. Nearly half its funding comes from federal grants. Endowment taxes and drops in tuition from fewer international students could create a perfect storm. Alternative revenue streams are being explored. But those alternatives have limits. Industry partnerships and online education won't replace the scale of government grants. As budgets shrink, staff are being let go. Postdocs, technicians, and young scientists face career disruptions they never anticipated. Christopher Sarosiak's lab is a cautionary tale. Even though he has private funding for an ovarian cancer trial, government cuts are undermining his ability to complete the analysis. Fellowships for key students were canceled. Critical insights may be lost. Faculty praise Harvard leadership for standing firm, but they're realistic. Without major changes, the university will shrink. Science might survive, but it will be scaled down, slowed, and stripped of its collaborative energy. Innovation will suffer. Some researchers are considering leaving the U.S. altogether. For foreign scientists, the climate feels hostile and uncertain. Grants were not just funding projects, they supported entire careers. Now, many of those careers are at risk. The real danger is that other universities will follow. MIT, Brown, and others are under investigation. The message is clear. Science and academia are no longer safe from political retaliation. Endowment taxes, reduced infrastructure funding, and oversight threats loom. David Goldstein of MIT says universities were slow to grasp how radically the environment had changed. Now, they realize there's no going back. Even if short-term peace is made with the White House, The fundamental dynamics have shifted. What we're seeing is not a policy disagreement. It's a redefinition of the relationship between science and state. In this new era, knowledge is no longer protected from political winds. That's a reality we must confront honestly. What does this mean for the future? Will the U.S. maintain its role as a scientific powerhouse? Or will other nations benefit as our brightest minds migrate elsewhere? The implications stretch beyond Harvard, beyond America, into the future of global progress. As you reflect on this, consider how fragile scientific ecosystems really are. Years of work, billions of dollars, and generations of training can be dismantled almost overnight. The cost isn't just financial, it's cultural. It's human. We can't rebuild trust and infrastructure in a day, but we can support the institutions and people who stand for open knowledge. We can donate, speak out, and defend the freedom to ask hard questions without fear of punishment. Science is not just about facts and data. It's about values, truth, curiosity, progress. And right now, those things need your support more than ever. If you believe in the mission of research, help us keep it alive. Every contribution matters.